Hello, back for another review. Gonna be interesting episode, The Flash, Plastiqe. Fantastic episode. Not the best I've seen, but again, the story threads sort of make this series gonna be awesome. Right, let's start. Little sort of character intros and the Flash's new abilities, which, you know, it's about time now. We're moving into like lots of new sort of superpowers, do you know what I mean? Right then. Well, it all started off, we've got General Wade Isling, Cadmus Project, and obviously he becomes in the comics, he becomes a meta-human in the Justice League cartoon series, you know, which classic, best cartoon series of all time for me, Justice League Unlimited. Anyway, off that. So, you know, we've got Wade Isling in. Are we going to get a Amanda Waller connection here? Are we going to get Argos coming in? Or Cadmus? Going to be extremely interesting. So anyway, off the little threads at the moment. Great story. Plastiqe, normally a villain. She's on the run from the military because the night of the accelerator accident, her body was fused with all the plastic explosions in her system when she got injured in some war somewhere as a soldier. Interesting backstory, learned quite a bit about her. She's on the run, she's blaming Island for what's happened to her. But it wasn't even that, the accelerator accident, but he wants to use her as a weapon of war, you know, for like special ops and stuff. And he's a man with a lot of dirty secrets, as you would say. So anyway, goes on, there's an explosion, an office block, she's after something in there, and it all goes off. And there's a fella hanging outside the window, on, you know, cleaning window. And, you know, Barry Allen finds out he can't get pissed. You know, he's trying to get pissed in the pub. And, I mean, I suppose that's the curse of super speed. You can't get pissed. So he goes running out, changes the flash, bang, says, look, this guy's going to drop off the building. And then suddenly he says, you've got to, anyway, contacts the gang back at the Star Labs, Professor Wells and the other two, and you've got to do 600 some miles an hour to get up the building. Bang, he's up the building, straight, a brilliant shot, him shooting up the building. You know, it's how you imagine, all the energy everywhere, up the building, saves this guy back down again, you know. And who does he go, bumps, who does he say? Iris sees him, vibrates his face as he does, you know, so she can't fully recognise him. She's more determined now to prove his existence and meet him, and really she's obsessed with him. And then it goes to the police station where General Isling turns up, wanted all evidence, you know, because he's after her. Anyway, sort of the sergeant and Barry sort of say and think, no, keep one of the files back. They start investigating. Flash finds her, she's up to something, looking for more proof about herself. He finds her and she touches the suit, he runs off, she's freaking out, suit blows up, runs back to the office in his boxer shorts, and like, you know, that's it. So anyway, they track who she is, you know, realises she's a soldier, and bang, he's off. So he goes off, he gets her, and takes back to Star Labs, all this bonding thing and all that, you know, usual stuff. And what happens is they end up testing her and examining her, and well, she can't touch anybody. That's like the curse, obviously, you know, because she'll just blow them up. So she's on a mission to, you know, get this doctor at Flash Doctor, and it all comes out that the accelerator again. You know, I've said this, and they explain, you know, it was an accident and all this. So anyway, Eileen's shot her, he's tracked her to Star Labs. Professor Wells, who we all think is Professor Zoom. Obviously, if he ain't Professor Zoom, I will be completely stunned. We know he's coming. And, you know, he's obviously hides her, and they go into something completely else. You know, him and Eileen have got history. You know, there's a bit of repartee between them, and, you know, it's not too nice. So he goes off, and you know, she's wanting to get Eileen and all this, she knows it's never going to stop. And it's interesting because, like, where Barry's trying to say, look, you know, you're welcome to stay with us and we can work around this and, you know, find a way together. So then we move on to, like, Professor Wells sort of just pops up and says, you know, if you want to be free and, you know, become part of this, it might be a good idea to knock him off, you know, General Wiling. So anyway, she goes off and Barry figures it all out and he goes off to stop her from doing this. Anyway, Eileen shoots her and, you know, she throws a lot of bombs anyway before she gets shot and, you know, she's dying. So Barry turns up and he says, look, you know, she's glowing, she's going to go off like a nuke, basically. And he says, can I run on water? And he says, yeah, you've got to get so many hundreds of miles per hour, 650 miles an hour, 700 miles an hour, whatever. And he runs across the water, takes her right out to sea, drops her body in the ocean, bang, she goes off like a nuke. He comes back, that's it. But she warns him, interesting thing, she tries to tell him, you know, Professor Wells, and then she's dead. So I thought really with this episode, Plastiqe was going to be the villain, and, you know, like Suicide Squad connections and all this. I thought all this might have been covered in, you know, especially with Eileen as well, because obviously he's going to be connected to Waller. You know, this is where I thought, oh, is all this going to come into this? And then we ended up getting on to the threads of the, you know, the show. Do you know what I mean? We get onto the threads of the show, and it becomes rather interesting, you know, with the little things. And I'm just doing some technical stuff, you know, and it's not looking good. Hang on, sorry for this, shouldn't have done this, you know. So anyway, sorry, I had to go off and sort something out. So you got all the threads going on. So you've got Eileen, he comes back to Star Labs. There's a bit of a him and Professor Wells, you know, he always gets the mysterious bit at the end where there's like a little bit more about him. And they're threatening each other and all this, and he says, I know, basically, you're something to do with this super fast guy, you know. And he leaves the building and Professor Wells, I'll bring you down. You do anything to me, I will bring you fucking down. So that's that bit finished. And then you jump back 5 years about some experiment, you know, and him and Eileen are there. This must have been when they were friends. And guess what? Gorilla fucking Grodd. Now, it's funny, really, because it would have been good if they had brought in the whole Gorilla City stuff and that. But obviously, for costs and that, you know, Gorilla Grodd is going to be intellectually super trained gorilla. You know, so we get to see Grodd briefly. And obviously we knew from one of the beginning episodes he broke out of the cell, so he's out there somewhere. And, you know, Professor Wells is, you know, we know your future. So that's going to be interesting. There were all these little thread bits coming in, you know what I mean? And like the whole Iris thing as well. I mean, when the Flash turned up to plead with her to stop writing these blogs about him, and another ability can vibrate his vocal cords, which was really funny. Also, Joe, the detective, I do like his character. He's quite like the wise sort of police officer. He's known for years that Barry's in love with his daughter, and that gets sort of interesting. He's right embarrassed, and he's, you know, he's saying, I've been waiting for you to tell her, you know. And that's it, really, you know. So, all in all, what a great episode. You know, with the little threads, like with Gorilla Grodd, General Eiling, and all the, like, Barry's new abilities. I'm looking forward to seeing him, you know, getting tornado blasts off, and all the other stuff he can do, like vibrate through walls, because the Flash can do so much, you know. And we've already seen, like, an equivalent to the cosmic treadmill, which, you know, is part of classic comic mythology. So it's going to be interesting. I know there's an Arrow team-up coming up with him at some point, you know, so it's going to be interesting. But I'm looking forward to having, you know, Captain Zero back, sorry, Captain Freeze back, you know. I really do like his character. So it's going to be interesting to see him come back, because he becomes one of the big nemesis. And hopefully we're going to get Mirror Master, you know, and all like Flash's Rogues Gallery, because they have killed like 1 or 2 off, like where the wizard got done, and it's a shame really, because I would like, you know, keep like 1 or 2 super villains. I hope they keep them around, and they keep popping up. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to give this episode of The Flash 5, and I might give it an extra 1 as a 6, because I'm going to say why. The story writing, the acting, the character getting on with each other, the chemistry just works perfect for me. I think The Flash is, you know, it's going to grow into a massive series, and you know, hopefully we'll get 7 years out of it to see him grow. And the backstory of Little Fred's all coming in, they're playing it beautifully. So great to the writers and great to everything, you know. So until the next episode of Flash will be next week. Have a great week. Please subscribe to my videos. Let me know how you feel, and I'll talk to you. Negative or positive, open to it. You know what I mean? So see you next time, YouTubers. Have a good one.